ancient wisdom that honestly feels more relevant than ever. We're talking about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and his incredible book, Meditations. But we're not just looking at history, we're exploring how his approach to journaling can actually help us control our minds, especially in today's chaotic world. And I'm thrilled to introduce our special guest, Anna, who's dedicated her life to mental well being in our community. Anna, it's so great to have you here.
Thanks, Zia. It's a real pleasure to be here and discuss something I'm so passionate about. Marcus Aurelius might seem like a figure from a completely different era, but his insights into the human mind and our struggles are genuinely timeless. I think many people would be surprised at how much we can learn from him.
Absolutely. For those who might not be familiar, Marcus Aurelius was one of the five good emperors of Rome, ruling from 161 to 180 AD. He was this incredibly powerful man, leading legions, governing an empire, fighting wars, all while dealing with personal tragedies. Yet he's best known for Meditations, which wasn't even meant for publication. It was his private journal, a series of personal reflections and exercises.
That's what makes it so powerful, isn't it? It's not a philosophical treatise written for an audience. It's a man talking to himself, wrestling with his thoughts, reminding himself of Stoic principles, and essentially practicing cognitive therapy millennia before it was formalized. He was a Stoic philosopher, and Stoicism, at its core, is about distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't.
Right, and that distinction is huge for mental peace. If you're constantly worrying about things outside your control, you're just inviting anxiety. He was essentially telling himself, look, you can't control the weather or your enemy's actions or even what people think of you, but you can control your judgments, your reactions, your own character. That's profound, especially for an emperor who had so much power but also immense responsibility and external pressures.
Exactly. And for me, working in mental well-being, that's the absolute cornerstone. So much of our modern stress comes from feeling overwhelmed by external circumstances, social media, global news, work demands, family expectations. Marcus Aurelius offers a framework to internalize our locus of control. He wasn't saying don't care. He was saying focus your care and effort where it can actually make a difference.
So, how did journaling specifically play into this for him? What was he actually doing when he wrote in Meditations?
He was essentially performing daily mental exercises. He'd reflect on events of the day, analyze his own thoughts and impulses, remind himself of Stoic maxims like everything changes, nothing perishes, or the obstacle is the way. He'd prepare himself for future challenges by mentally rehearsing how he'd respond virtuously. It was a practice of self-awareness and self-correction, a way to solidify his philosophical principles into his daily actions.
That's fascinating. So, it wasn't just venting or chronicling events, it was active mental training.
Precisely. Think of it as a mental gym. He was lifting weights for his mind. Each entry was a rep, strengthening his ability to think clearly, act with integrity, and maintain inner tranquility regardless of external turmoil. He'd ask himself questions like, is this necessary? Or, what is the true nature of this thing that bothers me? He was dissecting his perceptions to get to the truth, rather than letting emotions run wild.
I can totally see how that translates to modern life. We're bombarded with so much information and so many strong opinions, it's easy to get swept up. Taking a moment to actually write down your thoughts, like, why am I upset about this? Is this truly within my control? What's the rational perspective here? That's incredibly powerful.
It is, and in the community work I do, we often see people struggling with rumination, getting stuck in negative thought loops. Journaling, in the way Marcus Aurelius practiced it, can be a fantastic circuit breaker. It externalizes those thoughts, allowing you to examine them objectively. It's like taking a tangled ball of yarn out of your head and laying it out on the table to see the individual strands.
That's a great analogy. So, for someone listening right now who feels overwhelmed, maybe they're constantly checking their phone for news updates, or they're stressed about work, or they're just feeling generally anxious, how can they start applying this ancient technique today?
The simplest way to start is just to get a notebook and a pen. Don't worry about perfection or eloquent prose. Think about it like Marcus Aurelius did, a conversation with yourself. You could start with a few simple prompts. What's bothering me today and why? What's one thing I can control in this situation? How can I respond to a challenge with virtue or rationality? Or even just, what am I grateful for today, to shift perspective?
Yeah, that gratitude aspect is so important. He actually touches on that too, reminding himself of all the good things in his life and the people who helped him. It's easy to forget when you're caught in the daily grind.
Absolutely. Another powerful technique is negative visualization, which sounds counterintuitive but is really effective. It's not about dwelling on bad things, but briefly imagining losing things you care about, your health, your loved ones, your possessions. This isn't to make you sad, but to appreciate them more deeply when you realize they are still present. It fosters gratitude and resilience. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the ephemeral nature of life and how to be prepared for loss.
Wow, that's a perspective shift right there. Instead of taking things for granted, you practice appreciating them. It makes sense. It's like a mental inoculation against future misfortune, making you stronger now.
Exactly. And for me, working with communities, this kind of mental resilience is crucial. When people feel more in control of their inner world, even when facing significant external challenges like economic hardship or social injustices, they're better equipped to advocate for themselves, support their neighbors, and build stronger, more resilient communities. It starts with the individual, but it has a ripple effect.
That's such a vital point, Anna. It's not just about personal peace, it's about having the mental fortitude to actually engage with the world and make it better. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, remember, constantly serving his people. His journaling wasn't selfish, it was a way to ensure he was the best leader he could be.
Precisely. He reminded himself of his duties and his place in the cosmos. He saw himself as part of a larger whole, and his personal virtue was essential for the well-being of that whole. It's a beautiful concept that transcends self-help and moves into genuine human flourishing and civic duty.
So, how long should someone journal for? Is it a quick 5 minutes or a longer, more contemplative session?
It truly depends on the person and their daily rhythm. Even 5 to 10 minutes in the morning or before bed can make a huge difference. The consistency is more important than the length. Just like going to the gym, short, regular workouts are more effective than sporadic marathon sessions. You're building a habit, a mental muscle.
I've heard some people say they feel silly talking to themselves on paper. What would you say to that?
I'd say you're not talking to yourself. You're engaging in a profound act of self-discovery and self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius certainly wasn't worried about looking silly. He was an emperor on a battlefield, journaling by lamplight to keep his mind sharp and his spirit strong. It's a powerful, private tool, and frankly, the more you do it, the less silly it feels and the more transformative it becomes.
That's such a great way to frame it. It's about personal growth, not public performance. I also imagine there's a big benefit in just getting your thoughts out of your head. Sometimes just seeing them written down makes them seem less daunting or clarifies them.
Absolutely. It creates distance. When thoughts are just swirling in your mind, they can feel overwhelming. Once they're on paper, you can look at them, analyze them, challenge them, and even dismiss them. It's an active process of processing emotions and thoughts, rather than passively being consumed by them. It's a huge step towards gaining clarity and emotional regulation.
So, if someone wants to dive deeper into Marcus Aurelius, where should they start with meditations?
There are many great translations out there. For beginners, I often recommend the Gregory Hayes translation. It's very accessible and modern, but honestly, any translation you pick up will offer profound insights. Just open it to any page. It's not a narrative that needs to be read cover to cover chronologically. Each entry is a standalone nugget of wisdom.
That's good to know. It can feel a bit intimidating to pick up a book by a Roman emperor, but knowing it's essentially a collection of daily reflections makes it more approachable. It's almost like dipping into someone's personal wisdom archive.
Exactly. And it's not about becoming a Stoic philosopher overnight. It's about taking those principles, distinguishing control, focusing on virtue, practicing gratitude, accepting impermanence, and applying them in small, consistent ways in your own life. Journaling becomes the practical bridge between the philosophy and your lived experience.
Anna, this has been so incredibly insightful. I think the idea that an emperor from nearly 2 millennia ago can offer such practical advice for our modern mental struggles is just so powerful. It really speaks to the universality of the human experience.
It truly does, Zia, and I hope listeners feel inspired to pick up a pen or even just take a moment to reflect. That commitment to understanding and training your own mind is, I believe, one of the most vital things we can do for our personal and collective well-being.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your wisdom and expertise with us today. It's been a truly enlightening conversation.
My pleasure, Zia. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Mind Over Mayhem. Remember, your mind is your greatest asset. Take the time to train it, understand it, and nurture it. We'll be back next time with more insights to help you navigate life's complexities with greater calm and clarity. Until then, keep those thoughts in check and maybe start a journal.